friends, Heather here from Heather's Hikes and Adventures, and it's tour time. That's right. I would like to share my minivan camper with you, and if you're wondering whether you're experiencing deja vu right now and thinking, hey Heather, you've done a tour already, you're right. But if you know me, you also know that I'm constantly tweaking and moving things around and thinking of new setups or ways that I might want to try. So as much as I loved my current setup and still do, I came up with a cold weather camping setup that is perfect for when I need my sleeping bag, or if I am going to be doing some extended camping and really want to have more of a bed space, and I know I'm going to be doing some more stuff outside of the van and not need the extra living space. So without further ado, I am going to show you all the ins and outs of my brand new floor plan, and I hope you like it as much as I do. Let's take a look. Before we get into the actual tour itself, I kind of wanted to explain a little bit about me, my traveling and camping style when I am using Terra, which is my 2017 Dodge Grand Caravan, as a micro camper, so that you know a little bit more of how I personally utilize it, which will explain why I have it set up the way I do. So if you've already seen my other tours, then that will also kind of give you a better idea of how I personally camp in my minivan. If you haven't, I'll go ahead and link them below, because I do think that those are two great options as well, especially my 2.0 version. I love it and still plan to use it quite a bit. But we are here to talk about my current setup, which I personally plan to use as my cold weather camping setup and or my extended camping setup when I go on longer trips or places where I'm going to be staying at the same spot for a few days versus just kind of going from spot to spot really fast. So that tells you a little bit about how I'm utilizing it, a little bit more about me personally and my situation as well. I am part-time, so I do not live in my minivan full-time. I am living in here for short periods of time when I do extended trips, and then mostly for 2 to 3 day weekends for now. I am full-time in an office type job online, which I am fortunate enough to be able to mostly do from a home base instead of inside of an actual office, but it is an office type job and it does keep me pretty busy, at least, you know, around 40 hours a week. I am also a single mom to 3 amazing kiddos who are in their teens now, even though they'll always be my little babies. So I do use my minivan quite a bit in between trips to take them to and from school, after school functions, you know, just as a daily driver for normal activities. So I do need it to be a passenger van that is capable of transporting at least myself and 3 other people quite a bit of the time. With that being said, it is also important to me to be able to fairly easily, quickly, and on my own be able to turn it right back into a camper when I'm ready to hit the road because I do try to get out at least twice a month. My ex and I do have shared custody of my kiddos, so on the weekends that they're with him, I try to get out and do some camping, and then I like to do family type stuff in my van on the weekends there with me, going around to different places with them and stuff like that. So I do go back and forth multiple times a month, so it's important for me to be able to have a no build that I can easily convert back and forth. And again, this is a choice for me. It's not something that I was forced to do. So I did have a little bit more time to kind of figure out what works for me and kind of gather the things that I thought I would need and add to it as time goes on. So with all of that being said, I hope you have a little bit better picture of how I personally utilize my camper. And I'm basically inside my minivan when the weather is bad, if it's real rainy out, if it's really cold and windy, to sleep, nap, a lot of times to prepare and eat food, watch a little TV, things like that. And then the rest of the time I am out photographing landscapes and wildlife, hiking, exploring, going to botanical gardens and places like that out in nature. So I do spend quite a bit of the time while I'm traveling and camping outside of the minivan, and the rest of the time this is really just kind of like my bedroom / living room when I'm doing indoor activities. I do have an outdoor living space I'm going to share with you as well, which was a wonderful addition to my setup. I am set up to be completely self-sufficient, bathroom, shower if need be, cook, eat, watch TV, do work on my computer, my photography stuff. All of that I can do right out of this van, off-grid, without any kind of hookups, if and when need be. I am able to hook up to shore power when that is available. And I don't have solar yet, but that is something I'm hoping to incorporate into my current power setup eventually so that I can stay off-grid longer without having to drive in between to charge up. So I'm going to go into more detail on all of those things as I take you through my inside and outside living space. And we're going to get into all of that. This is going to be a very detailed tour. I am going to show you most of the stuff I keep in here, where I store stuff, basically how I live in it. So I hope that all sounds interesting to you. Let me stop blabbing and start showing. Alright, so I like to keep my paper towels bungeed right here for easy to find and quick access. I have a doormat that I like to keep my shoes on. It's easy to shake off and clean. This is where I store my weather techs when they're not in use. I will show you when the van is back in drive mode so you can get an idea of how that is. But this is how I am when I'm set up for camp in my living space. All right, now let me explain each of these zones to you a little more. We're going to start with the bathroom. So the way I'm set up now normally I was going to get ready for drive mode, but wanted to show you this first. So I did start taking down the fairy lights from the door, but normally those aren't here. What I'll do is I'll pull these towels out. I'll lay a towel across here just in case. Flip this over and it slides right down in there nicely. And as you can see here, I've got my toilet And then this is my pee stuff in the front. I want to show you how everything is when it's in place. My shower bag, my collapsible sink, and then underneath it all I actually have an old, I don't know if you can see it or not, diaper liner that came in my diaper bag underneath. So just in case there's ever any spills or leaks, it'll go onto that and not the ottoman. Now I have not used this, so don't worry. It is double lined with a compostable trash bag. I have some cedar shavings in the bottom. If I do need to use it for a poop emergency, I will cover with cedar shavings as well until I can dispose of it. When the top is on, it just looks like a regular storage ottoman, which is how I use it in my other setup. And then it has a nice comfy toilet seat. I can sit on it right when it's in place, but I did push it back just enough because I wanted access, since I mainly need it for peeing. I have these disposable urinals, which I have discussed in previous videos. I have my pee bottle that I can rinse out, clean, and reuse as much as I want. It also seals so that there's no spills, and has the built-in urinal. And then, because sometimes we need it, air freshener, toilet paper and wipes and everything can go in there as well. This actually collapses flat if I need it to. And then of course the shower bag and sink are self-explanatory. When I'm done, I just put it right back on and I've got my comfy ottoman again. When I am at camp, I do keep my wipes and my deodorant wipes just tucked back there out of the way for easy access. I have my cute little elephant, the remote for my lights, which is normally in a different spot, as you'll see later. And of course I like to utilize my cup holders. This is for my phone when I want to watch TV with it. I do keep my lantern on all the time. It's rechargeable. I will link at this and everything else that I use below. And I do normally keep my third row WeatherTech covers in at all times, as well as my pretty little garland and macrame bag. My pillowcases, I double as storage. They have blankets, bedding, pajamas, pillowcases, you name it. Except for that one and that one. And there's Smokey, my co-pilot. All right, let's move the blanket out of the way and continue with the tour. I like to keep my USB light tucked right in here. And then I have the switch conveniently located for easy access. This I love having here because I can easily put it over here for extra surface space, keep it here if I'm sitting on the floor, and have it as a bed tray. Or I can set it up with its legs down here, as well as pull out my bamboo cutting board and have extra kitchen space when I am cooking out the side of my minivan, since my power is underneath, which I'll show you now. Along with lots of other storage space that I am not even coming close to utilizing right now. You can see I have my storage of extra dry goods, pantry items, my clothing, my jackery, which as you can see is perilously low right now because it's been a few days off grid. I've got more clothing and stuff back there. And then behind all of this is where I store my outdoor living space when I am in stowed go mode. As you can see, I can just pull my chair right up outside of my van, and I have plenty of counter space right next to my outlets. So this is kind of my outdoor kitchen. Speaking of outdoor, let's take a break from the living space and talk about the outdoor space. This is the Clam Quickset Traveler, which is a 6-foot by 6-foot instant pop-up screen shelter. I got it for less than half price, brand new, because it was a warehouse reject. And then I bought the privacy panels that I do have in place right now. So you can take those off and then it's a regular screen. Or you can have it enclosed like this on all three sides. So now that we're out here, let's take the opportunity to check out the view from the back. I do have a towel here for now since the water comes out here. I have my single serving kettle tucked away for right now, as well as my dry bag, which I'm using for dirty laundry. And I've got my air freshener tucked back here. Again, I'm just showing you how I have it set up when I'm at camp right now. I do have this tucked away for if I ever need the extra shade tent, although I very rarely use it, to be honest. As you can see, I can access the bathroom from out here. I can also access the fridge from out here, my tools and the rest of my garage stuff. And I can also access the fridge and everything else easily from inside as well. I have a USB rechargeable sink pump on here and a little cap to keep it in place better. The charge holds forever and it's really nice to have that running water. And when I go into here is where I keep the sink, as you already saw, and I can just easily pull that right out. Woo, we just got a gust of wind there. But as you can see, it's not budging. So shout out to Clam. All right, let's get back to it. I do have my toolkit right here with all of the basic tools, a rubber mallet. This is where I store my clam chair and table when not in use. Actually, I slide the table right here when it's folded up, but everything else goes there. Let's take a look at the garage. All right, I've got my rechargeable USB lighter for fires, which I'm hoping to use very soon. An extra power strip, which I very rarely, if ever, have used. An extra USB fan, hammock, some containers, my back hatch tent that I have yet to use, some bear spray, sponges, cords, bungees, all that kind of stuff, some sticky gel pads, things that I don't need very often and that I don't need to access when I'm inside for the night. Here you can kind of get a better view of the inside from back here. And now coming back in the inside to look at some of the smaller details. This is a good spot for my coffee station, coloring books, journals. I do keep my clamp fan, which apparently needs some dusting after this weekend, right up here, which is the perfect spot to position when I'm in bed or hanging out in my hangout spot over here. I do have my charging station, which is my Jackery 240 when I'm here at camp, and that's what I use to charge my laptop, my phones, my camera battery, my lighting, all of that kind of stuff. I keep my carbon monoxide detector here on the table as well, and all of my entertainment stuff, my library. I have a portable DVD player on the back, which is positioned here so that I can watch TV at night, or movies at night rather. Oops, I didn't mean to flip that up. How embarrassing. Oh, I see the sun decided to join us again. Hello. As you can see when I'm sitting inside, I have a fair amount of floor space. Currently, I have done nothing to level my floors. I just have rugs on there. And this is actually a kitchen slash bath mat type thing. And again, I just tuck that away when not in use to maximize my floor space. This right here is essential to any of my setups. I love it. I have coffee, food, tea kettle, dry goods in here. And then in this second drawer here, we have plates, utensils for the grilling, cooking, vitamins, medicine, measuring cups, my AeroPress, my Hot Logic, my Dash mini griddle. And then down here I have extra chargers and cords, my markers and colored pencils, some extra carabiners, my shower and hygiene extras, some extra entertainment. Don't judge my taste of movies, thank you. My lens ball, a little oil diffuser, just some odds and ends. Back here is where I keep my Jackery cord, some spare bags, and my my broom and dustpan when I'm in drive mode. When I'm not in drive mode, it lives up here. I will normally keep my trash tucked here or hanging here if I need to keep it inside, or tucked away up front, which is where I keep my snack bag and cooler. Again, keep in mind I've been boondocking for several days, so it's a bit of a mess at the moment. This is where I keep my broom and dustpan at camp so that I can grab it. I do have my pop-up shade for easy access, which is covering my little compartment in here where I keep first aid, binoculars, things like that. Extra water storage. My day bag. I keep these side organizers, which has a lint and hair remover, sunblock. I'll keep extra plastic bags in here. Let's look at the other side. All right, down here, keeping it real since I clearly need to use it, I have my other brush to get all of that out every so often, an umbrella, and then underneath here, I have a boot scraper that I can pull out or tuck back so that I can scrape my hiking boots and keep everything here. Please ignore that potato chip that you do not see right there. Again, I have to sweep out. Here's another look. In there, I do have my first aid kit, some binoculars, an extra book, a beanie. I have my memory foam gel seat cushion, my sling. I keep my headlamp on my headrest so that I never lose it. My kitchen trash can. And things like for receipts, you know, paper things that aren't going to smell, or food garbage that I need to throw away right away. And then the normal Dash stuff. Some hands-free phone stands. Ponytail holder, clip, and mask storage. This I know I have talked about several times, but I love this seat divider slash cup holder. It's great to store extra things like my sea bean that I found at Anastasia State Park, and my good luck stones, like the one that I got at Casadega. My cup holder inverter that is going to be charging my little Jackery when I go run and grab some firewood and run on a couple of quick errands. And I have another side organizer here where I normally keep my wet ones, some extra deodorant wipes, things like that. Now let's talk window covers. I do have my custom fit WeatherTech on the windshield, although I will use my little cheapy pop-up one when I'm stealth camping, just so that I can pop it in place right from my driver's seat. And I almost always, in the 2 front windows, still use my stretchy fit over the door frame bug screens so that I can roll my window down at least this far. Like last night when it rained all night, I was able to still keep my window down to right here and not have any water come in. And I also have my magnetic curtains. They do add that blackout effect, although of course they're not nearly as effective as my WeatherTechs. But I can slide it open and closed while they're on. And as you can see, they just come off and on very easily. My camera battery charger I always tuck right here so that I can charge my battery in between shoot destinations. And I tuck some extra spare screens there. Apparently some leaves from outside. Some pepper spray, hand sanitizer, bug wipes, lens cleaner. Basic items. Now let's take a look in the living space from this side. Alright, so here you can see I have my library and travel journal. Another look at my charging station. And then this C table wraps right around underneath and over the bed. So I just tuck my emergency food storage and spare things under here. I have my sketchbook and some extra coloring books and things tucked right here so that I can grab them from bed. My rain boots and my hiking boots. And then I just keep my back cushion tucked right in here, wedged out of the way when it's not in use, which also helps to hold my pillows in place from falling down. As you can see, when the doors close, that fire extinguisher stays in the cup holder, which is right behind that paper towel, so I can still easily grab it from inside or outside. And here's just another little view from this side. Again, I do miss not being able to come in or out on this side again anymore. But you have to admit, for storage, you can't much beat it. Alright, I know it's not the best lighting since it's kind of cloudy out, but this gives you an idea of what it looks like when it's in travel mode. Clear everything off the surfaces. I wedge my books in there. I clamp my fan over there off to the side. Everything is strapped back in. Lantern down. Window coverings back off. I've got my little Jackery ready to charge while I'm driving up here, and I keep my big Jackery plugged into the 12 volt on the door over there so that when it's on, it's automatically charging. So both of those will hopefully get a little juice to them while I'm running my errands. And then we're going to head back to camp to eat, relax, and I will show you night mode when I have all of my window covers up and lights on inside so you can see what it looks like outside and inside at night. I'm currently sitting on my yoga cushion with my back against the ottoman, aka bathroom, and as you can see, I have a fair amount of leg room. To give you an idea of what it's like from inside. So so I can easily reach my fridge from in here. And all I need to do is turn my faucet around and I can aim the water towards me as well. I can easily reach anything up front that I need access to. Anything from in here. My paper towels. And then I still have my fire extinguisher right in the door. Hi guys, it's me. I wanted to show you what my car looks like from outside at night. We're now looking at the front. And around the side. Just so you know I'm not lying. If I look up, you can see the sky and the trees. Alright, so now you can see how bright it is inside. Good morning, my friends. I had a great night's sleep last night here in Terra. I do have to say it's really nice being able to roll over and stretch out fully in this setup with my big bed. And it did drop down into the low 40s again last night. I think it got down to like 41, which is probably going to be our last night like that here in Florida for quite a while. So I can definitely say now that I've camped in this setup a few times in the cold, I definitely stay warmer than I do in my other setup. So this is definitely going to be my cold weather setup, as well as my extended stay setup, if you will, for my longer trips when I'm going to be doing longer trips where it's more worth the effort to set it up. Since it does take me a little bit longer, I would say it takes me about an hour to get everything converted and ready to go, which is still fantastic, don't get me wrong. For a no build, to be able to go from a 7-passenger minivan to basically a nice little apartment on wheels in under an hour is, you've got no complaints here. But I do like when I'm doing more frequent, quick weekend trips or an overnight trip, I do prefer my other setup just for ease and convenience, since I can leave most of it in camp mode and just pop up the middle seats. So like 10-15 minutes and I've got it back and ready to go. So that does win out for the quick, easy, short trips, just out of the sake of convenience and having that nice open living space. But I'm hoping now that you've seen what a fantastic layout this is, how I set it up to be ready to drive to the next campsite or go from place to place on travel days, how I can cover all of the windows and have a nice blackout vehicle where nobody can see in and I feel completely safe, secure, cozy, and private at night, or just whenever I need a little privacy. And how it is when I have it all set up to be my cozy condo on the road. So I hope you found this video helpful. I hope that maybe I gave you an idea or two that you can utilize yourself. I hope that even if you've been doing this for a long time, that maybe I kind of gave you a couple of solutions that you might not have thought of before. And if this is your first time or you're just still in the dreaming and planning phases, hopefully I gave you some inspiration and ideas for that too. So I hope you found this video fun, useful, enjoyable, and entertaining. If you did, let me know by giving me a thumbs up. That really helps me out too and gets it pushed out to more people so that maybe it can help them as well. If you're not already subscribed, I do have some other tours, tips, tricks, hacks, lots of campground park reviews, things like that. So if that sounds like it's up your alley, you might want to stick around for the future and also check out some of my past videos. I've got lots of playlists set up including one on tours and setup details if you want to see my previous layouts. So check those out. And I want to thank you so much for watching. It really means so much to me, regardless of why or how, all of the what, when, what, all of the things, regardless of why you're in this lifestyle, whether it's part-time, full-time, out of necessity, which unfortunately is happening more and more to more of us every day in this economy, whether it's to travel and see the world, whether it's to save money, whether it's like I do right now to fit in with my current work schedule and mom schedule and just travel as much and as often as I can part-time. However you fit into this lifestyle or this lifestyle fits into your life, I hope that you're able to make it work in some capacity if you want to, and that you at least give it a go. And hopefully this video is a good place for you to start. So thanks again, and I will see you soon. Bye, friends.